Philadelphia Phillies kicked off their 2025 season today down at Nationals Park, and a few guys on the roster really stuck out to me in Game 1 of 162. We're going to get into all of that today on the newest episode of Phillies Digest. But before we do that, I do want to remind you guys, if you have not subscribed to the channel already, to please do so. Just over 35% of our viewers have subscribed so far. That means 65% of our viewers from our videos have not hit the subscribe button. We want to make sure the Phillies Digest continues to grow here. We are now over 3,000 subscribers in under 6 months of really being a channel. So I want to make sure you guys are continuing to subscribe, continuing to watch, and continuing to stay with Phillies Digest for all things Phillies here on YouTube, the #1 place for all sorts of Phillies content. But the Phillies got their first win of the 2025 season today down at Nationals Park. It was a 7-3 win in some free baseball. Yes, the Phillies and Nationals went 2 extra innings today after a pretty dominant start from both pitchers. Obviously, the standout of today's game, if you guys did not watch, was Mackenzie Gore of the Washington Nationals. 6 innings, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, 13 Ks. Mackenzie Gore had it going today for the Nationals in the first 6 innings of the game. He was on track at some point to finish with the most strikeouts on opening day by one pitcher in the history of baseball. This is from Paul Gasella of MLB.com. Mackenzie Gore has 12 strikeouts through 5 innings pitched. Obviously, he won't go the distance on opening day, but to put 12 Ks into perspective, here's how many Ks each pitcher had through 5 innings pitched in the only 20 K games in MLB history. Scherzer, 11. Randy Johnson, 11. Wood, 11. Clemens, 12. Clemens, 12. That is some pretty insane company. Mackenzie Gore was practically on pace for 20 strikeouts at some point today. And yes, I know a lot of you guys probably hear that and say, oh man, the Phillies bats this, bats that, blah, blah, blah. Bottom line is the Phillies are 1-0. And while the first 5-6 innings didn't look that great, the last 4 to 5 really did. The Phillies offense really got it going late in the game. The second that Gore got out of the game, Bryce Harper obviously tied this game up at 1-1 with his first career opening day home run as a Philly. And then 2 batters later, Kyle Schwarber gave the Phillies the lead with the first Schwarbomb of the season. But one of the bigger things from today, and I know a lot of guys talked about this after the game, and it's tough because, yes, this happens for all players, and everyone's playing on the same field. And it was obviously the case for the Nationals as well. Zack Wheeler had an unbelievable day today. 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 8 Ks. He was dealing early. 5 of his first 6 outs were strikeouts, and those first 5 strikeouts, the last pitch of that strikeout was a different type of pitch from Zack Wheeler every time. But I will say the shadows were not in the favor of either team today. This was from Alec Bohm, sort of a jokingly manner after the game. I will say this quote got a little blown up on my Twitter. A lot of people were kind of making fun of Bohm because of the quote, but realistically, he was just kind of joking around, hence the 30 times. But he said after the game, you can't see the ball. That's why we struck out 30 times. We should probably stop playing at 4 o'clock so there's a good product for people that come to the stadium. Bohm would eventually go on to say that it is really, really hard for these hitters to hit in these shadows. It's basically, you can't see any spin on the ball. The ball is coming at you like a little black dot. If the hitter is in the shade and the pitcher is in the sun, it's hard to get that sort of, translation there. But nonetheless, the Phillies won today, and that is what matters. Alec Bohm, a big hit in the 10th inning, obviously a name that was sort of on the block all offseason. Bryce Harper spoke after the game, and he was asked by one of the reporters about seeing that for Bohm and seeing after the offseason that Bohm went through of trade rumors and a lot of bad talk on his name and him as a player, to see Bohm get that big hit. Obviously, Alec Bohm, if you did not watch the game, had a 2-run double in the 10th inning for the Phillies that would clear the bases and give the Phillies a 5-3 lead. JT Realmuto would then go on to hit a 2-run triple to give the Phillies a 7-3 lead, and Matt Strahm would eventually close it out. But there's a lot of really big takeaways from today. Obviously, it's hard to, talk about so many things on opening day because it's the first game of a 7-month season. It's not, it's not 95 degrees out there. It's not summer baseball. It's, low 60s, high 50s. It's windy. There's guys in long sleeves. March baseball is hard. It's not easy. It's hard to pull some takeaways out of there. But one guy that I was really impressed with today, and I have been impressed with all spring, is Jose Alvarado. Another 1-2-3 inning from Jose Alvarado that took us 2 extras in the ninth. He topped out at 101.3. Not a single sinker thrown was under 98 miles per hour. Jose Alvarado did not allow a run in spring training, and he is continuing that today. He looked unbelievable today. He just looks very in control of his pitches, in control of his body. And I think a big reason of that for Alvarado is all of the weight that he lost. Alvarado lost a ton of weight this offseason. He looks healthy. He looks in shape. He looks just better out there on the mound. The arm did not take any sort of flack from losing that weight. Once again, topped out today nearly at 102 miles an hour on March 27th. His first outing of the regular season. Alvarado looked great. A reliever that didn't look great was Jordan Romano today, his Phillies debut. He got roughed up a little bit, but I will say this is the time of year where I try not to get too crazy on guys that have bad outings, right? A reliever who was injured last year in his first real baseball in probably about a year, giving up a few runs, it's not the end of the world to me. And I get it. Yes, I didn't want Jordan Romano to blow that game and the Phillies end up losing, but I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys and sit here and say Jordan Romano's cooked because it's not true. It was a bad outing. I have full confidence in Romano that he will get things sort of together. And I will say I did like how he battled through that inning. He started off with 7 straight balls, a walk, and a hit by pitch. And then he got 2 pretty big outs after that. He obviously did allow a single eventually to tie the game. But I liked sort of the battle that I saw out of Romano today. And once again, I do want to remind everybody, it is March 27th. It is game 1 of 162. Do not overreact. I know it's hard. I know we want to sit there, and a lot of people like to watch baseball season like football, and you're diehard in every single game. Every loss matters, and while it does, it really doesn't. So yes, I thought today was a nice first game for the Phillies, but for me, Jose Alvarado was the big story. And I think if you can go into this season now having another dominant lefty with Matt Strahm, because I think one of the biggest things of last season was Matt Strahm was really the only good left-handed reliever in the Phillies bullpen. They didn't have another dominant left-handed option. Whenever they needed a lefty, it was always Matt Strahm. And now it doesn't have to be. Alvarado got the first 9th inning of the season today. They saved Alvarado for the 9th. They saved Strahm for an eventual 10th. It seems like starting right now, Alvarado and Strahm could be splitting some 9th inning time because both guys looked really good today. I mean, Matt Strahm's out there throwing like that 1-2-3 inning with a glued fingernail. I want to see what happens when his fingernail's normal. Obviously, if you didn't hear and you probably like, what the heck is this dude talking about? Matt Strahm was dealing with a finger injury. He was packing his daughter's toys the last day down in spring training in Clearwater, and he got a piece of cardboard accidentally shoved in between his finger and his fingernail. Practically ripped like almost all of his nail off, but they said he actually glued his fingernail back to his finger today. Sorry, I should have gave an NSFW rating there. But yeah, so Strahm looks good. Alvarado looks good. The Phillies offense looked good late in the game. I liked what I saw as far as the approach late in the game. Once the shadows sort of went away, they were working counts. I did love what I saw from Trey Turner today as well. He saw 21 pitches in his first 3 at-bats, averaging around 7 pitches per at-bat. And I think that's going to be big for Trey. You know, how can Trey continue to improve his approach in the leadoff spot? The number one thing is he needs to see more pitches. He has to get deep in counts, work pitchers, right? Guys like Trey, guys like Stott, Marsh, the guys that aren't going to hit 40 home runs for you a year, but are going to continue to hit singles, doubles, steal bags, right? Work counts. Make starting pitchers work. And I thought Trey Turner, even though he didn't have a good day at the plate, I thought he did really good at that today. So that is going to do it today on the newest episode of Phillies Digest, the first recap of the 2025 season. Myself and Sean Bernard will probably be doing a good amount of these sort of recaps just in case you guys didn't get to watch the game. Instead of going back, and if you don't feel like watching a 2.5-hour replay of the game, we kind of run through it all in about 9-10 minutes here. So once again, if you have not subscribed to the channel already, please do so. Just about 65% of you guys that are watching our videos have not subscribed yet. This is the only place to be on YouTube for all things Phillies content. So once again, this has been the newest episode of Phillies Digest. My name is Luke Arcaini, and I will see you guys next time.